Hi, and good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Transitional Changes Mission podcast show. This is your host, Queen Summers.
And your host, King Summer.
We're glad that you are able to come in and join us tonight. We'll be talking about spiritual. We all just love to tell our stories now more than ever before. We're trained to tell the world what's on our mind. If we've just ordered a really great dessert, we can upload a photo, and within an instant, that little thumbs up reassures us that someone, somewhere out there, approves of our dining adventures. Social media has made it incredibly easy for us to share a page out of our daily lives. Social media is awesome, but sometimes we can find ourselves in situations where we no longer know what to talk about in person. It's easy enough to talk about superficial things, but to ask someone a more personal, even spiritual question, that is becoming harder to do. To many, it sounds like crazy talk. Tonight, we'll be briefly giving you a few conversation transition tools you can use when you feel like it's appropriate and the Spirit is leading you to engage your friends and acquaintances more deeply in the spiritual side of their life.
Yes, my people, we sure enough need this topic with the current event of the churches being plagued with this COVID-19, the stopping usage of the worshipness or congregation being able to gather in your religious base home, which is a church or maybe a building or even in your house. All that has been changed. We decided to make a show about spiritual that is related to the religion's belief. A lot of people understand or do not know there is a difference between religion and spiritual. One way I can help you understand is that religions began in the early timing of the inventions of writing, and that was about 5,220 years ago. Once the writing became abroad around the world, people started recording things that they believed in, which soon formed into different belief systems. One of the beliefs oldest known religions on this planet is Hinduism. And then came about like Confucianism, Sikhism, Islamic, and a lot of deities came off the Christianity belief. But all that now has been changed into the modern day. Some might believe that they might be having conspiracy to do away with religions, or I say they cannot get rid of the main thing, and that's your spirituality. Your spirituality and your spiritual ways will always be connected to you. And hopefully, and we pray by you hearing our show, we enhance you to share and get back into yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking spiritually is not simply speaking about spiritual matters. It involves speaking from your own unique relationship with the Spirit about what matters most to you. This is the most crucial form of speaking if we are to cultivate a flourishing future. Transitional Changes Mission Incorporated don't fit into any of the simplistic categories people use to label religious entities these days. Mainline, evangelist, conservative, liberal, progressive, traditional, charismatic, liturgical, as Soren Kierkegaard said, if you label me, you dismiss me. And we have a strong aversion to being dismissed. We consider that aversion a gift from the Creator. If you are willing to accept my own understanding of myself, I'm a learning soul walking humbly in the image of the Creator.
All right. Yes, my people. So we are here to try to help people with this congregation being downside and not being able to attend a church. And that belief system of that, who they say might have invented congregation, he also explained why there is a need for congregation. And it states that it is important for a believer because it aids in the prevention of a backslide as well as lost faith into your belief. I say that Your congregation is inside your temple, and your temple is your vessel. Your vessel is your body. And if there is a loss of congregation or being in a gathering among others, you can still do that with this modern technology. It's just that some things that you can fight against, if the saying says, if you can't beat it, join it. And if you join the modern ways of things that is converting over to the technical world, then we can capitalize on that. Or maybe it might take your church or even yourselves doing a video stream among your neighbors, among your co-workers. Meaning that if you have a Zoom account, you can still do the same type of preaching, maybe through via internet.
That's good. That's good. We are given an opportunity to put into words the source and shape of the convictions that give our lives significance. The best way of stepping into this opportunity, as I currently understand it, is to ask yourself what you value most in your life. Find within yourself the 5 words that capture the inspiration of that value for you. Then begin with curiosity about what values inspire those with whom you are in dialogue. Open the conversation with this kind of curiosity, inviting others into the space, respecting their views first, then put your reflections on the table for consideration. If you begin by contending for your position as the only right way, you sabotage the conversation and subverted any semblance of dialogue.
Wow. So yes, with that dialogue that's possible to go among each other, I asked a series of questions. What if it wasn't no religion? You hear me? What if it was not no religion? I think with my answer to that, it will always be some type of spiritual connection.
Right.
One of my beliefs is that when you look in the mirror, we are the reflections of ourselves. A lot goes with that saying, but one description I can say is the next person that you might be looking at that's doing good, which you might image to try to be, which a lot of people use as idols or heroes to themselves because they consider them doing well in life. But what about the person that's not doing well in life? Most people look down to them. Most people turn their cheeks towards those homeless people or the ones that you saying that might be lazy or not a part of the way that society has designed you to look at other people. But in the spiritual realm, when you look at that person or get to talk to that person, there's a lot of characteristics and personalities that might align with yourself. And totally, it might just be only difference is skin color. And like I said, that always goes back to the geographic areas of the way of this world being designed. So it always reflects back to a human way of a spiritual intellect.
That's right. And in my opinion, King, I'd say that the universal language of all humanity is love.
Yes.
And not just, oh, he's cute. Oh, she's fine type of love. I'm talking about unconditional love. And the spirit, it lays out convictions, and the best way of stepping into this opportunity is you may understand that energy has much more to teach us in this life. Openness to learning at every level of our beings, instincts, emotions, and intellect is an attitude that we desperately need in our contentious and callous culture, especially in today's time. So if compassion informs that listening and learning, we can hope for a better future in a more collaborative community.
Yes.
We are given an opportunity to reconsider and reform our perspectives and practices as we grow into the community of compassionate collaboration we were all created for.
Yes, we all are created for a purpose in my belief system. That's dealing with all creations of the universe. Now, with that said, I say that we have the purpose of maybe learning to love each other unconditionally, or maybe just accept all purpose of somebody's design, with the misconception of maybe you're not understanding the emotions that goes with that other person design.
Right.
Some might call a person evil, some might call a person good. But we are our own people to do the will of the Creator. And the will of the Creator has put us on this one planet, and we have expanded to billions today.
331, right?
Actually, on this planet is about 7.8 billion people on this planet.
Oh, okay. So it's only 331 million in the United States.
Yes.
Okay, that's for the ones thinking in the box. Think outside the box.
Yes, that is a great thing to say there, Miss Queen. Because with that knowledge of knowing that this world is huge, it would take a person to expand their mind to be able to accept, understand, or be around another person with their belief system. Like, for instance, as an example, you can catch a plane or travel by boat to China, Asian country. Most of our neighbors over there have a different belief system. Most of them are into tourism, Buddhism, Confucianism, and things of the Asian ones that I know of, but it's probably thousands of other ones that could be founded if we choose to do the research. I advise you to do that research before you get on a plane and go to another country.
Right, you might be practicing Taoism.
Yes. And that goes the same when you go to Egypt. They got Hinduism over there.
Muslim is very prevalent in Egypt. And I just like to say the best way of stepping into this opportunity is understanding a callous and crash individualism is rooted in fearful thinking. It may make selfish sense on a base level for many. It may drive political positions and movements for a time, but there is something instinctively communal about human beings. There is also something emotionally compassionate about human beings. When intellects are formed to pay attention to these kinds of instincts and emotions, a different, far more dialogical space is cultivated. That's what happens when we speak spiritually in ways that we're suggesting. So cultivate spaces where a broad range of our human species can engage in respectful, stimulating dialogue about the core values that will provoke all life to flourish in this universe.
Yes, my people. And that diversion makes life exciting to me. Because I look at it as if a person had that power of designing a world that they dream of, I feel like over time they would be bored. Because everything that it wouldn't be no excitement in it. But when you have diversity within the mix of a society worldwide, it makes it exciting for some. For me, it's like food, to learn different ways of the belief systems of a different culture, to see how they live different by reading or by me looking at it on TV. It's all kind of ways that you can expand your mind towards the anatomy of humans. And we are huge out here. So one thing that we came up with this show was to get people back into the spiritual ways of life. And especially at this time of the year. What we got coming around, my queen?
We have Christmas and New Year's coming around. And for next week's show, we'll be talking about the New Year's resolutions of Transitional Changes Mission. So you definitely do not want to miss that show, because we'll be talking about the new and improved things that we'll be offering.
Yes, and one of them is that we changing our platform that we hosting our podcast on. We are going from Podbean to Speaker.
Yes.
.com.
Welcome to Speaker in the 2021.
Yes, my people. And it might be a lot of other things that as you stick along from this show all the way to January the 2nd, we are going to promote happiness, promote humanity, and play you some good Christmas music.
Yes.
And we also offer some bonus shows, like we did a good turnout on the Thanksgiving bonus.